Hey everyone, I'm in a new place, so you're watching me tidy up my new space. So I have to admit, despite my initial plan to draw every single day, life got in the way and I haven't been able to stick to that routine. And to make matters worse, it's already halfway through the year. Where's the time going? Anyway, in the last art video diary, I was working on a piece called Always Together. I have an admiration for people who draw on paper, so I gave it a try. Things didn't all play out as I planned, so I ended up improvising my way through. Also, I finally completed a painting I had been chipping away at since 2021. It's been a slow and steady process, but I'm proud to say that it's finished now. Let me show you some of the processes while I talk about things that have been on my mind when I was working on these pieces, like learning the mediums, making mistakes, and attachment to art pieces. Previously, I think I mentioned how I was surprised by the color transformation of gouache paint once it dried. Well, this time around, some observant viewers may notice that I didn't give much thought to the paper I was working on. By the time I completed the artwork, it ended up a little bit wavy and wrinkly. Personally though, I enjoy the delicate feel and the texture of thinner paper for drawing, so I'm unsure about using thicker papers next time. Nevertheless, it's an experiment I'll be trying out next time. I searched for a method to straighten the paper and came across this solution. The first one was to spray some water on the art and then iron from the top. It's kind of just like ironing normal clothes. It's funny that this is a thing. Unfortunately though, this didn't do that well, so another solution was to put something heavy overnight with a flat glass over the art. While the wrinkles didn't completely disappear, I kind of liked the final texture it came out with. What do you guys think? Creating traditional art has been an enjoyable process so far, filled with lots of unexpected results. It's like the art itself is entertaining me, instead of me having a complete control over it. Of course, I still make efforts to plan ahead, so that the process is efficient enough. But in a way, I can surrender to the flow and embrace the uncertainty. It makes me realize how my approach to art has become somewhat rigid and quite logical these days. I'm so excited to share another completed piece with you. It's titled Lolly Space. Every now and then, I enjoy letting my imagination run a little bit wild and coming up with random ideas. I guess this is the one occasion when I get to be loose and flexible. Unlike some of my other pieces though, Lolly Space doesn't carry a thoughtful story behind it. Instead, it's more like a visualization of a happy feeling, capsule in my heart, and the subject of that were cats and lollies, put in a space and filled with it. By the way, I made quite a few mistakes with this particular piece. Back in 2021, I had a few oil paintings I've done before this, but for some reason, for the first time, I decided to use a pencil to sketch out the layout. And little did I know that it would turn out to be the biggest mistake I've made. What happened is that the black pigment from the pencil ended up mixing with the paint as I applied it onto the canvas. And those unwanted traces stayed visible even after the first few layers of the painting. I don't even know why I did that. I just hated having to paint through such a dirty canvas. Mark my words, I'm never doing that again. Oh, and this is more of a realization than a mistake, but I allowed myself to be distracted by newer projects for the past 2 years. In other words, this piece just didn't receive that love it deserved for a long time. Sometimes I have doubts about my style, direction of the art, or whatever. That happens occasionally, and this piece particularly got left behind for a bit. The funny thing is, now that it's finally completed, I find myself surprisingly attached to it. In fact, it's become my favorite out of all the paintings I've done so far. What I see when I look at this piece isn't really what's painted on here, but the memories of the time spent working on it. I remember what was happening around me, the thoughts that occupied my mind, and a few experiences associated with it. It's kind of similar to music triggering memories when you listen to it. Like, I remember the lockdowns. I remember how we moved houses about 3 times between the time of this creation, and I remember listening to lots of K-pop while painting. Rushing through my art to meet deadlines has become somewhat of a habit for me, especially with digital pieces. But this painting has made me feel and see traditional art in a totally different way. Anyway, those 2 were physical art I was able to finish recently. Part of me do want to keep smashing through lots of art this year, but I guess some pieces can take their time, because it is nice to have some pieces filled with memories. Actually, speaking of which, there is one more painting that I still need to complete, and I'm pretty sure I began working on it around the same time as Lolly's Space. Let's see how much of that will get done before the end of the year. Alrighty then, I guess I'm gonna hop on that painting next. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye!